duck court shenanigans. So last weekend, I went over to my brother Tom's house for what I thought would be a typical sibling catch-up session. You know, the usual, a cup of coffee, some embarrassing childhood stories, maybe a game of Monopoly if we were feeling particularly daring. But from the moment I walked in, I knew something was off. The living room was littered with rubber ducks. I mean, there were hundreds of them. At first, I thought it was just a quirky new hobby. Who doesn't love a good collection, right? But then I noticed that each duck had a name tag and was lined up in rows like a little avian army. Tom, seemingly oblivious to my confusion, offered me a seat on the couch, which was also occupied by a few ducks that seemed to be wearing tiny wigs. Naturally, I asked him what was up with the ducks, thinking maybe he had taken a liking to bath toys or had a new project for his Instagram account. Tom smiled and said, "Oh, they're for my duck court." Now, I'm used to Tom's eccentric ideas. This is the guy who once tried to convince our family to celebrate opposite day on April Fools, but this was a new level of strange. He proceeded to explain that he had been using the ducks to reenact courtroom dramas to settle imaginary disputes. Apparently, he was inspired after binge-watching too much legal drama on TV, and in his words, the ducks make everything less quacky. I nodded, trying to suppress my laughter while picturing little duck lawyers and a duck judge banging a gavel. As the afternoon went on, Tom invited me to witness a trial. Intrigued, I agreed, thinking this could be the best entertainment I'd had all week. He set the stage, a small table with a makeshift podium and tiny props. The ducks were arranged meticulously, the plaintiff, the defendant, even a jury. Tom animatedly narrated a case about a duck who allegedly stole bread from another duck's pond. As the trial unfolded, I noticed he was using legal jargon, clearly enjoying the theatrics. It was absurdly hilarious to see him cross-examine a rubber duck, asking, "Is it true that on the 5th of July, you were seen dipping your beak in the plaintiff's loaf?" The ducks remained silent, their unblinking stares adding to the comedy. Finally, as the trial reached its climax, Tom dramatically cleared his throat and announced the verdict. After much deliberation, he said, "The jury finds the defendant guilty of being a quack." He burst into laughter, and I couldn't help but join in. It was ridiculous, sure, but it was also the most fun I'd had in ages. As I left, I realized that maybe we all need a bit of ridiculousness in our lives, and who better to deliver it than a brother with a courtroom full of ducks.